conversation would be things you don't do, things you should not do. Now, what happens is that a lot of agents do not have enough passion for what they're doing. They're looking as if they are there just at a house and they're just there. What happens is that when you don't have enough passion with somebody, what ends up happening is that something happens, something goes on, and what happens is that your mind is not there. If your mind is not there when you're doing the presentation, what happens is that the people do not trust you. So you got to have a feeling coming from your stomach to where you actually care. You're telling them, I want to help you. I'm here to help you out. Number 2, do not overthink the process. The process is very simple. If you come from doing annuities or you come from doing mortgage protection or term, simplified issue whole life is a total different arena than anything else. They only look back 2 years on some carriers only look back 1 year. Yet when you look it back, then you've got to actually sit and think about the actual prescription drugs the client is on. So read the application. Do not look too deep into it. It says if you had a heart attack in 2 years, have you had a stroke in 2 years? That's all they're asking. The question is either yes or no. Now, you still need to go check out their medication to make sure the medication that they're taking is not having anything to do with the heart attack or stroke. It's got to do with something like dementia. Okay, so just because we're on one medication, that medication could be Aricept, and that means guaranteed issue. Number 3, do not criticize your competition. If you go to a client's house and they have bought a policy and they have a policy, and they have a policy, what you've got to do is that you've got to say, congratulations, I'm happy for you. Let me see what I can do to help you out. Because what ends up happening is that when you're in a house, you tell a person, man, you shouldn't have bought this policy. This is not a good policy. Oh, my Lord. What you're going to do is that you're going to embarrass them, and what you've done is that your trust meter, your sense of respect is gone. So when you're there, congratulate them for having a policy, saying not many people we deal with come across have a policy, fantastic. Let me see if I got something a little bit better for you. Let me see if I got something that's more reasonable for your price range because you're on a budget. So always talk good about competition. And to be honest with you, if I go to a client's house and they have a policy in place already, I'm happy. I don't have to do no selling. All I got to do is see if I can find something to either add to it if they had it a long time ago, or if they recently just got it, see what I have to see if I can replace it and make the sale that they already had plus more that they want. Number 4, do not interrupt a client when you're speaking. Clients have got to feel that they're in control. Yet as agents, as salespeople, we feel we're going to forget what we have to say when the client is talking. What they're saying, we really don't care what they're saying. We want to say what's on our mind. And what ends up happening, you will interrupt. Total disrespectful. My thought is, always have a piece of paper in front of you, have the lead in front of you. If something comes to your mind, write a couple little notes down there. Say, I understand, note, and move on. Because it shows a lack of respect when you're in somebody's home or they're in your office and they're there to buy something from you and you want to interrupt them to tell them what's on your mind. Relax. Calm down. Number 5, don't mumble. So many agents will come into a house, they'll start speaking with a client, and they do not know what to say. A client asks them a question or they want to come back with some type of statement, and they're saying, well, probably we can do that there. Here's my suggestion. When they ask you a question and you do not know the answer, just stop. Think for a second and then give an answer. You will come across more professional, you'll come across more intelligent, and the person's going to sit and say, you're not a mumbler. I've ridden with many, many agents, and it's a process we all go through. I went through it. New agents are going to go through it. What happens is that you do the and the ahs and the e's and the we's because you don't know exactly what to say, yet if you stop, process it, think, and then speak, you're going to come across a whole lot nicer, a whole lot more professional. Something a lot of agents do is that they'll go to a client's house and the client says, my health is great. I just want to buy something. What does it cost? So what ends up happening is that we deviate from the program. You don't ask health questions. You don't ask medicine questions. You don't ask anything. You're taking the client at face value, which there's nothing wrong with that there. Yet, this is what's going to happen. And I've said this 100 times before. Yes, ma'am, I got a program that can give you this, this, and this. Your premium for $10,000 will be $50. The client gets all excited. You say, fantastic. Do you have any medications you take? Then you see them bring out a box of medication, and now they cannot have that program for $10,000 for $50 because you overstepped what you should have done. Client gives you their medication, and let's say they're on, I can't think of a medication, right? They're on some type of, I can't think of an example now. They're on some medication where they got to get a graded, or they got to get a modified, or they're not going to get exactly what you quoted them. And now you got to say, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't ask you the questions. I don't know what I was thinking. I made a mistake. Oh, my Lord. Don't say nothing. Find out what medication they're on. Tell them the process is extremely simple. I need to ask you some health questions. I need to ask you about your medication. And then from there, I'll give you all the information you want to know on what these programs will cost you. But I need to do it in a proper way to where I give you the best program available. Because what happens is that when you jump too fast and you get to be too quick on the draw, you're looking at $10,000 for $50. Now you're going to give them $10,000 for $6,250. Or the $50 is only going to get them $8,700. So you need to kind of sit and think, don't get excited. We all get excited. When somebody says they want to buy, it's a normal thing to get all excited and come and make a sale. And what happens when that happens, you start deviating. You go to the left, then you go to the right. And what ends up happening, you make a boo-boo, and that leads to a higher premium when you find out everything. I went to a house one time. God, it seemed like 100 years ago. It was in Hudson, Florida. Walked in the lady's house. It was about 10 minutes till 10. How do I remember? Just remember. There's certain things that get tattooed in your brain. Had the old paper card, and she says, I need to buy some life insurance. And I was a rookie. I said, okay. I said, how's your health? She says, my health is fine. I said, okay. She said, I've got to go. She says, what will it cost me for $5,000? Told the premium, she says, I want it. And I was kind of like, I was the one in shock. She kind of hit me like a deer in headlights. I said, well, I need to ask you some health questions. She said, okay, ask them quickly. Boom, 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 boom. Any medications? No. Boom, 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 boom. Wrote the application up. And back then, you had to collect a wet check back in the old days. $5,000, don't remember what the premium was. She had to leave in like 7 minutes to be down the street in 3 more minutes. That's the fastest application I've ever done. And believe it or not, it went through. Does that happen today? It can't happen today. But yet, when you look at the odds, okay, more people are taking medications today because doctors are pill pushers. Doctors like to give medication. I think people like taking medication. Doctor, this, and this. Doctor says, well, take this. And so the client's saying, well, is there a natural way I can get over this here? Can I do something else? Can I lose weight? Can I do this? Should I exercise more? Doctors prescribe medications because it's the way our market has changed. So I'm going to tell you probably 75 to 80% of the people, if not more, we deal with is on some type of medication. So please ask the medication they're on before you spit out a price. Lastly, this is where a lot of agents, I feel, mess up a lot. They speak too much and they speak too fast. What ends up happening is that us as agents, we feel we are here to control the conversation. We are here to talk, and the potential client is here to listen to all of our knowledge we have about what we have to offer them. And what happens is that we overwhelm them with all the knowledge you have. You tell the client the difference between a whole life and a term. If you don't give them a break to process it, for it to kind of go around upstairs, for them to swallow it, to go down, for them to taste it here, if you don't allow that to happen, what's going to happen is that you're going to move on to the next subject, and they're still trying to figure out the difference between a whole life and a term. So my suggestions are, as I always say, it's kind of like tap your brakes, slow down a little bit. When you're speaking with a client, ask them, does this make sense to you? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you have any questions? And what it does, it gives you time to relax. It gives you time to allow them to ask a question. Because when you speak too fast and you do not allow them to ask questions, what happens, it doesn't become a presentation. It becomes a dictation to where you're just talking. And the only way for a client to feel that they participated in this presentation process with you, they want to feel that they've talked. Okay? This is not a one-sided conversation. My thought is that if you can bring like a little pint of gasoline in with you every day, and when you're with a client, just sprinkle a little bit on them to keep them speaking, because it makes them feel good to talk. You know where you're going to take them, so if you can direct them in the way you want them to go by sprinkling the gas, allowing them to speak, they feel they're in control. And when they're in control, you have a much better chance of them saying, yes, Joe, this is something I want to buy. Okay. I'm going to just kind of re-go over these here. You got to have more passion when you're in a home. You got to feel it in your stomach. Number 2, don't overthink the process. Ask the questions. Go over the medication. If you're not sure of exactly what you're doing, call your manager up. Call me. We'll help you with a carrier. We'll help you make the sale. Number 3, don't criticize the competition. Congratulate them. Tell them fantastic. So happy to see you have something. Take advantage of what the other person did to get them to buy. From there, make a slow transition over into either adding to it or replacing it to give them more because they want more because they just bought it recently. Number 4, don't interrupt. Bite your tongue. Make some notes. Number 5, do not mumble. Stop, think, assess, and then speak. Number 6, don't spit out a price too quickly because you're going to make a mistake. Number 7, don't give a premium out until you've actually fully medically underwritten them. Okay? And again, if you're unsure based on you being new in the business or bringing on a brand new carrier, understand that you can call your manager up, you can call me up. It's kind of like phone a friend, phone a mentor. I'm here to help you as well as your manager. And lastly, slow down. When you're speaking with a client, just kind of bite your tongue, speak a little bit slower. The clients we deal with are predominantly a little bit older. We are predominantly, some of us are a little bit younger. I'll speak for myself, a little bit younger. And what happens is that we get excited when we're in a home. We're anticipating a sale. The client is giving us buying signals. So when the client is giving us buying signals, what we want to do without realizing it, we want to rush the process along because we know they want to buy. You want to close a deal because you want to go to somebody else's house. Think about it. Take your time, do a proper warm-up, presentation, transition, and when they do decide to buy, it's not time to leave. Now you got to do a cool down to where you can reinforce to your client that the decision they made was a good one. Leave them some type of company brochures, company card. There's a little form we have called I Am Your Policy, which I think is a very good piece of paper to leave with them. I like leaving them the conditional receipt with their name, the date, the face amount, the premium, their first premium withdrawal, my signature and the date again with the company's name on top. These are things that solidify the deal. They're buying an intangible product from us. They're paying for something that's going to be used by somebody else, and it's their money. So you got to make it to where when they leave the house, you leave the house, you give them something to where they hold something to where they feel what they have is very good. And they made the decision with your help and guidance. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody want to say something? Anybody have any things that they feel that they can share with us that they don't do that I may not have mentioned? If you do, do me a star 2, and Jay will open you up. Okay. Nobody wants to chit-chat. Okay. We'll see you on the call tomorrow. Oh, I got a hand. Who is? Okay. Bronze? Ron. Ron, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Very good, my friend. How you doing today? How's the weather?
Good. It's hot in Reno and very smoky from all the California fires.
Oh yeah, I saw something I saw something about a week ago on the news about that. There, is it still burning pretty bad up there?
Yes, pretty bad.
Well, I hope things get better for you guys. Good morning.
My question, or actually for advice, is sometimes when you get frustrated and you go to a door and that person is just adamant, I just want the price. I just want the price. and you kind of go, I can't qualify you now because I don't know the information. I just want the price. Sometimes I say it's $35.40. And then they say, how much coverage? And I say, well, that I don't know because I don't know all your history. Is that being arrogant on my part just because I'm a little frustrated?
Well, it's part of the game. They want to play the game. So we've got to decide who's going to win this game. You're going to get some people, Ron, that are just that way, okay? And you can just do whatever you can. You can actually choke them. A lot of times we've got to sit and understand when you just door knock somebody, you're a stranger. You may be standing too close to them. They could be intimidated. They may not like men. Who knows? So what I would do is that whenever somebody is giving me some resistance at the door, I take a couple, 3 steps back to make them feel a little safer. I want them to feel that I'm not there to harm them, as you're not, but yet you and I, when we go knock on the door, we're total strangers. What I would do is take a couple steps back, and they say, all I want is a price. I say, you want a price on what? Okay? When you say on what, now what you're doing is that you're making them sit and speak. Okay? On what this card is about. I don't remember why you sent the card in. May I hand you the card to where you can see why you sent the card in? Oh, just give me a price. Well, ma'am, the only way I can give you a price is I need to know what you want a price on. Okay? If you feel that they're getting a little bit more pushy with you, just take another step back. Okay? Because you still may be in their zone. Okay? You may be in a zone that they don't feel comfortable you're too close there. They sit and say, well, I want it on a final expense program. I said, okay. What I need to do before I can just give you a price, I give you a price is $19.95. The only way for me to give you a correct price is I need to ask you just a couple health questions. May I ask you a couple health questions? From there, they're going to go yes, they're going to go no. And then what happens there is just, I think by backing up, slowing yourself down, trying not to get upset as I have before, kind of take it as, okay, this is a game. I don't want her to win. I want to win. What can I do to be smart to try to extract information from her? People sometimes wake up on the wrong side of the bed. They're going to sit and tell you, I thought you mailed the information to me. They're going to give you all these excuses. So what we've got to do as professionals is take a step back and say, what kind of price do you want me to give you? Do you want an annual price? Do you want a monthly price? So what you're doing, you might become a little bit arrogant by asking that there, but you're trying to put them in check to where they'll sit and say something. Say, ma'am, if you want, you can just walk right outside. I can go to my car to get my book, and I'll be happy to tell you. See, that's why when I go to a house, I don't carry a book with me. I don't carry no laptop, no iPad, no clipboard. I take just leads. So when that comes up, I'll sit and say, come on outside, have a seat, and what I'll do, I'll be happy to go to my car to get you all the information you want. I think what they're doing is that they got a wall built in front of them, and we've got to do whatever we can to chip it down slowly, not fast, chip it down kind of slowly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
When you're at the, go on, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say thank you. I thought you were ending.
Okay. Okay, now, when you go to a door, do you stand real close to the door, or do you stand back? About how far do you stand back from the door, Ron?
3 steps back.
Okay, how tall are you?
5'8".
5'8". Okay, you're an average height. Personally, if I were you, I'd stand back 6-7 steps. I'm 6'1", okay, and I'm a big boy. I stand back probably 8-9 steps for the mere fact is that I feel the further back I stand, I've got better eye contact. They're not looking up at me, because the closer you are, you figure if you got a lady that's 5'2" or a man that's 5'4", there's going to be a little bit of looking up at you to where they may feel that you are their senior, you're in charge of the situation. So yet when you stand back 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever steps back, your eyesight is more level because you're not shorter, but being back further, your eye level becomes more level than it is going upward bound. When you knock at a door, people are not expecting you. you catch them off guard.
Right.
So what we've got to do is that we've got to go slow. Don't take artillery to the house, because when you go to a house, agents don't realize that when you take all this stuff with you, it works for some agents. Some agents say, Joe, I got no problem. I want to take everything with me because I don't want to go back to my car, which we'll have to get into that situation another day on why I don't. To me, it's just easier and simpler. They don't think you're there to try to sell something to them. Say, ma'am, I'm not here to sell nothing to you. I cannot give you a price because I don't know what you want, what you need. I don't know what you qualify for. I wish it was this easy. If you can just share just 2 minutes with me, put the peace sign up, share 2 minutes with me, I'll give you all the information you want. I'll give you the pricing you want. And then from there, whatever you choose to do with it is totally up to you. So you somewhat want to diffuse the situation. You don't want to argue with her. You just want to kind of be as polite as possible by stepping back. That's my advice to you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Joe. Always appreciate your calls.
You're very welcome. Thank you, and hit them hard and make some money. Okay, who else, Jeff? Mr. Macri, good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning, Joe. I just wanted to say, one thing I was going to say. I stand pretty far from the door. What I'll do is I'll go up and knock, and before they come to the door, I step back a ways. That way they don't feel as intimidated. And I've just been saying, and it's been working good, I'm here in reference to the card you filled out, and then I'll take a deep breath, and I'll just say, I'm here to go over it with you, instead of, saying it'll just take a few minutes, and that's been working pretty good. But I had an appointment on Monday in the morning. I was in a house, and the lady worked 3 jobs. She was 51 years old, 3 jobs, God bless her. She could barely make ends meet because she had a high property tax. She was giving me the whole, and I just listened to her, like you said. I didn't interrupt her, and I can talk, so I just listened to her and I let her go. And then I gave her the presentation on Transamerica. And,
You're breaking up, Jim. Jim, you're breaking up. Macri. Jim, you're gone, I think. Okay. Jim, Jay's going to disconnect you, and then raise your hand again if you can hear me. Okay. We'll wait a couple seconds for Jim. Does anybody else have anything they like to say or add when they go to a door, how they stand, where they stand, what they carry? If you do me a star 2. It'd be kind of nice to get different people's opinion on their particular styles, on what they do and why they do it. If I just say something, do a star 2. Okay, nobody wants to chit-chat. Jim, we'll catch you tomorrow. Raise your hand tomorrow, we'll get you. So with that said, I appreciate it, guys. Make it a great day. Appreciate your hard work. You got any questions, call us. Hit them hard. Bye-bye.